Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Metro Exodus Good Ending walkthrough, and this is mission 4, also known as the Caspian. And this video is part 2 out of 3. And where we left off last time, we have just gotten through the spiders, and when you get out of that area after you've talked to Damir and Giul, Miller will contact you via radio and he wants you to meet up with Anna. And she will give you some side missions. So that's what you just saw. And the first mission I decide to tackle is the sniper. There is a sniper up in this crane and he is surrounded by a few of his friends. And while I was here, I was trying to go for a trophy called Kaleidoscope. And Kaleidoscope is unlocked by equipping a gas mask, night vision goggles, and a scope on your weapon and killing, I think it's 3 enemies with that. So there are quite a few requirements to unlock it, and I wasn't very successful right here. Since I decided to do this nighttime, it was nighttime when I got here, that big lamp gave me some trouble, was what I was gonna say. Sorry. Because they shine that straight into your face, so night vision scopes or night vision goggles are completely useless, because as you could see, everything gets really light. Because that's how night vision works, that it takes even the smallest light resource and amplifies it so you can see in the dark. So I decided to skip that and do it at a later time. But getting to this sniper isn't very hard. You need to be aware of him and try to stay behind cover at all time, because he can and he will hurt you a lot if you give him the chance to do so. So what I like to do is move up slowly, because I think there's maybe like 4 or 5 enemies down here. And the sniper, as I said, is up in the crane. And in this mission, or in this video, we are also gonna pick up the last 2 upgrades for Artyom's suit. I'm not quite sure if I said that already. But we're gonna pick up the last 2 upgrades. The last 2 upgrades, yeah, sure. The last 2 upgrades, which are gonna check my notes here for a second. It's a vest that allows you to wear more medkits and probably filters, and also an upgraded night vision goggles. But first we're gonna get past these guys. This is not very hard. Now there's just 2 guys left, I think. There's that one, and there will be another guy over by the staircase on the left. And I talked about that in the Volga level. Always make sure that you've cleared the area before you start scavenging. Because this guy, I got a bit lucky. He didn't fire at me, or he didn't notice that I was here. So I do a piss poor job at killing him. Even took a bullet point blank. But now, all these foot soldiers are dead. Like in Turtles. I think they were called the Foot Clan. But now all that remains in here is the sniper. And he is not at all happy to see us, as you can see. He's being very aggressive. But as long as you're careful going up these stairs, there are a lot of beams and structures and shit in the way. So he's gonna have a really hard time hitting you. So I suggest equip whichever weapon you feel most comfortable with. I chose the Shambler because this is quite an enclosed area. And it always gets a good spread and packs a decent punch. But there we have him. Blast him straight in the face. And make sure to strip his rifle, because that is jam-packed with upgrades. Or different... not upgrades, but different things. But after we're done with the sniper, if you want to, you can also pick up a sniper rifle and go down a wire that is a bit further up from where I was, and a car will show up with some enemies in it. That is a great place to farm a trophy called Sniper for killing enemies. I think it's 50 enemies at long distance. I decided to do it while I was in the neighborhood. Does take a while, but as soon as you've killed everyone, make sure to drop a quick save before you fire a bullet, because they will not know that you're there. So you have a quick save just as they show up and just start blasting. I think there are 5 or 6 enemies. And just kill them all. Equip the 6-time enhancement scope, or whatever it's called in English. The best scope. And kill them all, reload your save, and rinse and repeat until the trophy pops. It may take a little while because enemies... I don't know if it's due to the sniper rifle not being as powerful as it should be, or if they have some kind of body armor, or if it's just distance, but usually they don't die in one bullet unless you hit them in the head. But inside this ship, the reason we're in here is they are holding a lot of slaves captive in here. And here we're also gonna take on the second heavy. I talked about that in Yamantau, that you will face off against 3 heavies if you follow this guide. And the second one is... wow. That is a bad situation. And that is some piss poor aiming. But I said, in this guide you will face off against 3 heavies, and the second one out of those 3 will be in the inner room, or whatever it's called. The furthest in room. Fuck it, you'll see when we get there. But what you want to do here is we're gonna clear out all the enemies in this, the main... almost said main hangar, but we're not in an airport. In this main cargo deck, let's call it that. The cargo deck, where they keep all the slaves. There are a lot of slaves captive here, and we are gonna free them. That's why we're here in the first place. And this will also make Damir more motivated to go with us, because he feels that his work here is done. We have done everything we can to help these people get free of their oppressors. But before we go into the heavy, that is something you don't see in this guide, is that I quick save a lot. And I really recommend that you quick save just before you go into that room. Now I'm just trying to keep my distance and use the fact that on normal enemies don't aim super well. A lot of time they have a hard time hitting you in here because there are walls. I'm shooting through a window. And I might as well use the Tihar. And I also unlocked a trophy right there called Silent Marksman. And I think that is unlocked by killing 30 enemies overall with the Tihar. I think the only kill related trophies with weapons are... there is one for killing 1 enemy with every ranged weapon in the game. There are a total of 10 weapons. And there is one for killing 30 enemies with the Tihar, which you just saw me unlock. And later on in the game you will unlock a modification for the Tihar, which will turn it into a Helsing. And anyone who's played the first 2 games in this series probably knows about the Helsing. It's kind of a crossbow, but with a rotating magazine. And something I've heard that they have added into this game, I haven't tried it myself because I have lent the game to a friend of mine, but apparently they have added in a recent patch, they added a new game plus mode, which I think is really good, because the Helsing upgrade is something you get in the next level, called whatever it's called, Taiga, I think it's called. And in the Taiga level, I'm not gonna get too ahead of myself, but this guide will cover the Taiga level and the Dead City. And as I said, I've not done any of the train levels because they are simply to progress the story. But in the next level, the Taiga, you will get the Helsing upgrade, or you will get a crossbow. But I will show you how to go through that entire level without killing anyone. You will get a trophy called Child of the Forest or Forest Child or something like that, and we will also get a trophy called Alyosha because our friend that we have with us will not get hurt since we don't kill anyone. But that is something I'm gonna talk more about in that level. But the point I was getting to is that is the only level except for the Dead City where you get a chance to use the Helsing. And the Helsing isn't super effective against mutants, and in the Dead City you will not face any human enemies at all. All you're fighting there are mutants, or is mutants. So I was a bit disappointed because if you're gonna give me a weapon towards the end of the level, or towards the end of a game, I think you should have a decent chance to use it. Because going into the Dead City, you just want to use your most powerful weapons, because that place is jam-packed. Or not jam-packed, but certain areas are packed with mutants. And mutants in these games do take, I feel that they take quite a lot more punishment than humans do, before they decide to just lay down and die like good little cannon fodder. But now we have, I think it's just one guy left out here. And as soon as we get up here, there you see him right over there on the walkway. I think he's gonna move out pretty soon. There we have him. And hopefully he'll get back. Yes. That is a great grenade toss, by the way. That is Uncharted levels of grenade tossing, and we all know what beasts they are in those games when it comes to throwing those. But that was the last enemy. Make sure to reload your weapon. You do get a checkpoint here, but make a quick save here before you enter this door, and make sure you have equipped the Molotovs, because here we have a heavy. In front of him there are two people that have been engaged in combat with each other, fight. I don't know if they are slaves, I don't know if they are slavers, but I try to throw the Molotovs so they will not get hurt by them. Try to hit the heavy in the chest, or get them to land just by his feet. I don't know if it will affect the game in any way if they die, because they might be slavers, they might be bad people, but I didn't want to risk it. I managed to miss them on my first playthrough, and I wanted to do the same thing on my recording run, because I knew it worked on my first playthrough and it worked here on the recording run. So but either way, now the heavy is dead, so all that remains out here now is to go over to this switch. Of course, as always, loot through these bodies. And come on, Wolfman. And then we can open these cages, which will give us a good karma point that you saw right there, and free all the slaves. And after you're done at the ship, your next objective, my objectives didn't update, but what you're supposed to do is head back to Miller with the maps we picked up in the spider level. And after you've talked to him and given your new updated objectives, go over to Nastia and give her the bottle, which will also net you a good karma point. And here we're gonna pick up the second to last upgrade for Artyom's suit. We need to park. There is a little walkway down here, and there is a man sitting over there by the light. He claims to be the leader. I tried interacting with him. He doesn't want to talk. And I suggest don't kill him. You see where the car is parked? And here we have the medkit upgrade. And now we're gonna head for the last one. And I think this is also a side mission that Anna gives you. And this is something funny that I realized during my recording. Because I have parked my car here in the yard. And we're gonna head into this little hangar looking building. Because there are some good stuff in there, but there are also quite a few of those humanimals. But they will start coming after you when you go further into this place. And I decided to try something, which worked out wonderfully, because I have parked my car a little bit away from this building. And you're soon gonna start seeing them chasing me. Just going through here in the meantime. I don't think they will show themselves until you get really far into this building. And also, when you have taken out all of these guys, some enemies are gonna show up, but I'm gonna show you an effective way to take them out as well. But I started to proceed in here with caution. And an idea struck me. And as soon as they start chasing you, you see them start crawling out there. That means they are triggered. One of them is over there, so just pump his ass full of lead and run. And I head straight for my car. Because I don't know if I mentioned this in part 1 of these videos, but there is a trophy in this game called Karma Head-On for killing 50 enemies with the truck or with the van. And I realized, I still haven't unlocked it though, but I realized that going out into the van, since the humanimals chase you out, I could just jump in because they will not catch you when you're inside the van, at least not as far as I know. But it did chase me outside, so I thought like just fuck it and ram them down, because why not? Saves a lot of bullets. And since they lined up so beautifully, I could just take out, was it like 5 or 6 of them? Beautiful. Except for this last guy that just refuses to die, so we pick out the Kalash and... Okay, there are 2 more. But it is a great strategy, because they were fucking 7 or 8 to begin with. But now all those humanimals are dead, so we can head back in here and continue exploring. If you go... I think the soldiers that will show up, or the slavers that will show up, will do so because you go as far in as possible. Because I'm not 100% sure what triggers them. On my first playthrough, I kind of went into this place a little bit, and then I started heading for the main building, and they suddenly just showed up. Not quite sure what happened, but either way, I'm sorry for the bit weird transitions here. I had to do some fancy editing. But make sure you have a grenade equipped, because they are out there just to my left. So we're gonna equip the grenades and throw one. Aim for the guy to the right. Because grenades have a decent blast radius, it took out one of them and it softened up that guy. And now we only have 2 left, I think. And here they are. And the first one that dies will make the other one realize that this was not a great idea. So he surrenders. And what do we do with people that surrender? Yes, we knock their asses out so they cannot follow us. And now we're gonna go in and get the very last upgrade and unlock Dressed for Success. You saw it unlocking from me in the Volga level, if you have followed this guide from the beginning. But if you haven't played this game before, if this is your first playthrough, when you pick up this upgrade is when you will unlock Dressed for Success. And going into this building, I would say proceed with caution. Because in this building, make sure your weapons are reloaded and in decent condition. Because there are a lot of humanimals in here. And I talked about in part 1 that sometimes they hide. They may lie down and they have the same color more or less as the ground. So they can be hard to spot unless you're really looking for them. There is one standing there right beside what's called the bookshelf. That's what I was gonna say. So make sure that you're really cautious in here. You see him standing there? Right between the bookshelf and the door. So I'm gonna bring out my trusty T-Hod and we're just gonna shoot him in the head. So that's one less to worry about. And this house is more or less the reason why I'm not super big fan of the Shambler in this game. Because the A-shot, I talked about the fact that it just has 2 rounds. And it's super quick to reload. And the Shambler is really slow to reload. I even switched over to my Kalash because I realized I was fighting a losing battle trying to take these on with my shotgun. So I think I would actually recommend that you use the A-shot. Make sure you have the double barrel expansion so you have a long barreled shotgun. And that was really clumsy. Learn from my mistakes. There is one lying on the ground right there. So you don't walk straight into him. Had I done maybe 2 or 3 playthroughs of this, I would probably have mapped out where every one of these assholes is sleeping. But since we're doing this on normal difficulty, and I recommend you do it on normal as well if you're gonna follow this guide, there is, I think I've talked about that, but there is a trophy for beating this game on Ranger Hardcore. I will do it, but I will not make a guide for it. But when you're going for Ranger Hardcore, I suggest you try to do it as bare bones as possible. I know that when I start my Ranger Hardcore playthrough, I will only go for the upgrades to Artyom's suit that I feel are gonna give me that slight edge that difficulty will probably require. So I will probably go for the reinforced gas mask, the reinforced helmet, and the upgraded ammo pouch. And perhaps maybe the enhanced night vision goggles. No, wait, I'm not gonna go for night vision goggles because that's what you pick up in this house. And this place is not somewhere I would like to set my foot in if I were to do this on Ranger Hardcore. But I have yet to unlock the bad ending to this game as well. So that will be a quest for... That is something I probably do on the Ranger Hardcore playthrough. Right now I'm just playing Sekiro and getting my ass kicked. I talked about Sekiro in my last video as well, and the fact that a lot of people seem to want an easy mode, and I don't think they should implement one. Even though it is up to From Software themselves, or Hidetaka Miyazaki I think his name is, the guy who is the lead director behind those games. But I hope that he sticks to his guns and lets the game still be challenging. Because that's what those games are. They are challenging. They are, in a sense, hard. But they are more punishing than anything else. But I'm starting to... I feel a little bit that I'm getting better at Sekiro. Because I am starting to get the timing down on the counters or the deflections. At least I hope so. It feels like I'm doing progress. I got a bit stuck on a mini-boss. But after quite a few tries, I did manage to take him out. By the way, this is really clumsy. I heard him coming. But I was so focused on the one lying in the room, so I thought to myself like, yeah, I'm just gonna take him out. He won't find me before I do that. But always keep an eye out for these assholes in here. As you can see, there are quite a few of them, and now we're finally gonna take out that one. The one that's just lying there peacefully sleeping. So we're gonna send him to the eternal slumber. Quick BB, or they're not bullets, they're more like ball bearings. Either way, whatever it is, I think it's little steel balls that it fires. Quick shot to the back of the head, eternal dirt nap. And I think that's the last of them. Not 100% sure, but hopefully so. And when you feel that you've cleared out this entire room, we can head up to the last floor. And this is where you'll find enhanced night vision goggles. And also an upgrade for your shambler. You will find a 6-shell magazine in here. And I do remember on my first playthrough, I found like automatic rifle magazine for my shambler, but on this recording run I couldn't for the life of me remember where I picked it up. But here is also a bed if you want to change it from nighttime to daytime, or from daytime to nighttime. And there we got the extended barrel and the 6-clip, or whatever you call it, and also the enhanced night vision goggles. So let's end this episode right here, and in part 3 we'll see the conclusion to this level. But I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.